Good morning, everybody. Welcome to P&M in the AM. No Al this week. Al is
Thank gosh.
he is probably got the meat sweats going from the 4th of July weekend. I am Mike Lauro along with my co-host. That's right, the one and only the Gobbler himself. Speaking of throwing hot dogs down throats, how was your Saturday, Pat?
You know, you know what, Mike? I love the 4th of July. You know, you get the meat between the buns and you just swallow. That's all you could do. That's all you can
Oh,
ask for. You could just lather things up in ketchup and mustard and just jam it wherever you need. You know what I
and
mean?
whatever viewers we just had, we just lost.
I
But no.
mean, I
Well,
know, and I gotta though before I get started though. All honestly, I gotta say thank you to everyone who's reached out about my old man. I obviously know my old man is suffering a health issue right now, and I want to thank everybody who's chimed in. I mean, my phone has been blown up since practically almost 11 o'clock last night. So again, thank you to everyone who's chimed in and checked in with me. And Mike, thanks for filling in for the reach around and that wrap around. It's always a good time when you get those things done and pulled and yanked and bop and suck it. So
yeah.
anyway,
Boy, yeah, you really had to get that in there. But Pat, we got a guest with us, man. And
yes, Mike, we have a friend. You know, Mike, we're usually two losers, and we don't have many of those.
no, speak for yourself.
Yes, yes, you know, and believe it or not, from the Pittsburgh Sports Desk. I mean, he does a tremendous job every Wednesday night talking Pittsburgh sports. Him, my guy Tracy, my man Ed, and of course, Will's like me. He's like the Bugs Bunny of the you know was the Stream Punk Entertainment Sports. I mean, you see him talking hockey, you see him talking soccer. I mean, he's literally like Bugs Bunny. He can talk it all. So, and he's also the beat reporter, Stream Punk's beat reporter for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. So, with all that being said, Bill, welcome on board on the PM and the AM show. Your Sundays will never be the same here.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Bill, I just
Okay,
wanted to
Mike.
say, I've been to Permane Brothers. Have you been on this side of the state to have a cheesesteak? And if you did, which one's better?
I went to Geno's and loved it. I love Geno's. What's the other one I went to?
Pat's? Was it Pat's?
It was Pat's. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pat's, but I was a bigger fan of Geno's, though.
Listen, the next time you come to town, we'll get you a real cheesesteak and not those tourist traps. I know Permane Brothers is like a tourist trap for you guys out there. I actually had the Roethlisberger some years back. I actually went to an Eagles Steelers game back in like 2010, and we went to a Permane Brothers. It wasn't bad.
Yeah, they're good. I like Permane Brothers. I'm a fan.
No, well, listen, I'm glad. And listen, I just was out there, Bill. I was just out there about a month ago with my son, who loves elephants, and unfortunately, they don't have nothing over here with elephants. But nonetheless, great zoo for everyone who's checked in this show. But Bill, let's get into some news here because I know you guys, Ed, Tracy, have been busy with a lot of Pittsburgh sports going on. So right away, I got to get off my back. The big news going down. What do you think of Jalen Ramsey going to be with the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Well, I like it. When I looked at this trade in layman's terms, I told the guys actually on the show the other night. I said, you got two good players for one good player. Did the Roethlisberger attack you in the bathroom? It does attack you in the bathroom. There's a lot of stuff on there. So yeah, it's attacked me in the bathroom before for sure. Yeah. I mean, Minka Fitzpatrick, when they first did this trade, and it's kind of ironic that they got him from Miami. And then it wasn't working out in Miami, but now he's going back there. So that's kind of, isn't that ironic? No, they wanted, they got Minka to be a splash player. And really in the last 2 years, there hasn't been much splash. I think he's had one forced fumble and one interception in the last 2 years. So hasn't lived up to expectations. I think a good player though, but I just I don't know. And with Jalen Ramsey, I think you're getting a little bit more versatility. The guy can move around a lot more. I know they used him a lot in blitz packages down in Miami, so that's going to be interesting to see how they use him. I would hope that they would try to blitz him, but I think he's more versatile than what Minka was. And hey, you got a tight end in Jonnu Smith, which traditionally they don't throw to the tight end, but now that you got Aaron Rodgers at the helm, maybe that's going to change. But the only problem I had with it, guys, is that you still need a number 2 wide receiver, and you still have yet to get that. And there's guys out there, Amari Cooper being one of them, who I think is probably one of the best route runners in the league. Keenan Allen, I think wouldn't be a good fit, just because I don't know, he's getting up there in age. I talked about Gabe Davis as well, but a lot of people kind of like put him in that same class as the DK Metcalf. So I don't know, but I would love for them to sign Amari Cooper. If I'm Aaron Rodgers, I'm like, hey, we need a number 2 wideout. I didn't come here to, not throw the ball here and spread the ball around. We need a number 2. So we'll see. But I just thought they should have addressed that, first, But defense got better. It got older, though. I mean, Jalen Ramsey is a little older. So, but
I got a question for you here. This is from our producer, Al Severi. Says, do you believe in Rodgers? Before you answer that, though, I want to throw my 2 cents in on this trade. I believe that Jonnu Smith is really going. That was a steal because now you're going to see just how much more open Freiermuth can get with having Jonnu on the field. And believe it or not, I know Pittsburgh doesn't normally throw to the tight ends, but Aaron Rodgers does, and he's going to use both of them guys. So if you get a guy like a Gabe Davis or a Amari Cooper to pair up with DK Metcalf, I think that's, I think the Steelers are going to be really, really tough to beat this year.
Yeah. It's funny. I was just watching last night. I was watching the Buffalo. On the NFL Network, they had the Buffalo Bills and the Jaguars from London a couple years ago, back in 2023. And that was when Gabe Davis was on that Buffalo team. Man, I mean, some of the sideline catches he made in that game, I mean, I was just like, wow, it would be great to have him. And they, about a month ago, there was a story in the Pittsburgh Trib about him, about them having talks with him and him potentially signing, and that kind of fell by the wayside. You didn't really hear anything else about it. I think he would be great. I think he would be a great fit on this team. I think Amari Cooper would be as well, but I think it'd take a little bit to get Amari Cooper. So, but yeah. So,
I have one for you. How does it feel knowing you said your defense got a little older, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
I think the cornerback situation for you guys is really well because now you have Darius Slay opposite of Jalen Ramsey over there. And being an Eagles fan and seeing his production last year, I can tell you this: Slay's production hasn't fallen off, and not in my eyes anyway. I think Pittsburgh's going to be really, really stout on the defense. The only thing is, though, what's the big deal with trying to get rid of TJ Watt? That's what I don't understand.
Yeah, I still think they're going to sign him. I really do. I still think they're going to sign him. I think that this is all kind of fluff, to be honest with you. I still think they're going to sign him. They're going to cave. They're going to cave to his demands and sign him. I really believe that. So I would be shocked if he went elsewhere.
So my question to you is, Bill, I know you weren't a fan of him. Again, did a lot of producing for the Steelers post-game shows with you. Got to listen to a lot of Pittsburgh Sports Desk with you. But, Omar Khan's going to got a 3-year deal extension. Are you a fan of the move? Does it sound like you guys were? How do you feel?
You mean with what? I'm sorry, I missed it.
Omar Khan, the general manager.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry, you broke
Omar Khan getting a 3-year extension.
Oh, yeah, okay. Gotcha. I was sorry. You kind of went in and out there. You know, he's done some good things. I mean, he's not a great drafter. I mean, I think that his draft is, you know, he botched the whole Kenny Pickett thing. I don't think they should have done that. Um, I think Kevin Colbert was a better draft guy. But I will say one thing: Omar Khan has made some good, decent trades. He's a guy that goes out there and tries to make the splash trades, and he has been successful. I mean, like I said, I think with this whole Miami thing, you got two good players for one good player, which is in my book, that's you're winning on that one. But yeah, I mean, I'm okay with it. I'm not, I'm kind of neutral in the whole thing. I think I think a lot of times his hands are tied. I think that Tomlin makes a lot of those decisions, especially in draft. I think Tomlin he's the one that really has the final say in everything. So I don't think when they botch drafts, I don't think that it's totally Omar Khan's fault. So.
Mm-hmm.
We got a comment checking in. Ryan Swope says, "Holy smoke! It's those guys. Let's get loud." Good morning, Ryan. Ryan's one of our frequent chatters on our chat board here, Bill. And we do have Bill on. He is from the Pittsburgh Sports Desk. So, guys, if you have any questions about, the Steelers, the Penguins, the darn Pirates, that's right. Raise the Jolly Roger.
Yeah.
Who woke these guys up? And to be honest with
you,
I'm gonna be honest with you, Bill. From this side of the state, we only play the Pirates twice. I'm rooting for. We're already done playing you guys for the year.
Yeah.
Let's go. Raise the Jolly Roger. I hope them boys come back and win the Central. I really do.
Yeah, it's gonna be a monumental task. They started off pretty bad. No, that home series I was shocked by that home series. What they did to the Mets and the Cardinals. I mean, how they just the run differential was just out of. I mean, I just couldn't believe it. I know, they went on the road here. They're in Seattle. They lost the first game 6-0, and then lost last night 1-0. So not a good start on this road. And they're on a long road trip. I actually work part-time at PNC Park, and it's crazy because they're not going to be back in town till I think the 18th of July. So
wow. Well, you know what? I will say this: them playing Seattle. Seattle is a very, very good team. They got good pitching, man. And us being on the East Coast, and you guys being in the Central, you guys we don't really see a whole heck of a lot of Seattle baseball.
Yeah.
With that, but Al Safiri, our producer, he's got a great question for you.
A couple questions coming in for Bill.
Yeah. Do the Phillies and Pirates trade? I don't know. I don't know. On your guys' end, have you heard anything about the Phillies being interested in Mitch Keller? Because I've heard that a couple times.
I've heard Mitch Keller, but I've also heard David Bednar and Dennis Santana.
Yeah, I heard David Bednar as well, local guy. He's pitched better in his last few starts. He's pitched better. He had a rough outing last year. He was bad last year. And the start of this year, he struggled a little bit, but he seemed to get it. He seemed to get it together. He's had some saves in his last couple starts. He seemed to get it back on track. But
I from what I heard on our end, one of the pieces that would be moving to Pittsburgh in that deal would be a Mick Abel. So you would get Mick Abel as a part of that draft. I'm pretty sure the Pirates, you as a Pirates fan, would love to see Mick Abel in a Pirates uniform.
Oh, yeah.
I got another. This is from our boy Nooms. He says, "R.I.P. Dave Parker." And every time I think of Dave Parker, I do not think of him as a Cincinnati Red. I think of him as a Pittsburgh Pirate. I remember going to the vet, watching that dude hit balls that probably still haven't landed yet.
He was amazing. It's just sad, really sad that he got it. He's getting inducted. Really sad that he wasn't able to, be there for his induction. Obviously, it's I think Major League Baseball. I think they really screwed that up. He should have been in a Hall of Fame a long time ago. Him and Al Oliver. I tell you what, Al Oliver is one guy as well, another Pirate. That when you look at it, I mean, he was a consistent hitter for a number of years, and it's a crime that he's not in the Hall of Fame either. But yeah, Dave Parker, the Cobra. I mean, just a staple in Pittsburgh Pirates. History, and just a great individual from what I understand, and was a big part of this franchise. The '79 World Series. I mean, he was one of the better hitters. Part of the lumber company. I mean, those guys got it done back in the day.
Hey, I will say this: in the history of Veterans Stadium, the furthest hit ball ever hit in Veterans Stadium was hit by a Pittsburgh Pirate, which was Willie Stargell. It was up in the 600 level in right field. I'll tell you what, I saw a home run contest. They brought in, it was a Phillies Pirates weekend here, and they had a Twinighter on. I believe it was like a Friday night Twinighter back in the day. The 5:35 start.
Yeah.
Well, in between games, there was a home run hitting contest between Willie Stargell and Dick Allen. You want to talk about souvenirs flying out of Vet Stadium? It was unreal. I have a lot of good Philly Pittsburgh memories. Even with some of the losses, that came our way. I have one other comment for you. This is from Ryan. He says, Steelers have done some strange things this offseason. Now they might get rid of Watt. All vet moves, then let him go. Uncharacteristic of them.
Well, I mean, I still think they're going to sign him. I would be shocked if they got rid of him. But when you look at it, like last year, he played 10 games. The last 10 games, he had no stats. I mean, he's fallen off a little bit. I know the guy's dealt with some injuries. He had that. He's had several injuries. But his production has fallen. I will say that. Strange moves. I kind of agree with him in a way. Strange moves in the fact that, like I said, they still haven't addressed this number 2 wideout. And I think that's a big issue. I mean, I'm puzzled. I scratch my head all the time as to why they don't, treat it like it's important. It's very important. I mean, they've got to get this. They've got to try to go out and get a number 2 receiver. And I tell you what, the longer you wait, camp's 18 days. Camp opens up in 18 days. The longer you wait, these guys are just going to come off the board. They're not going to be there anymore. So.
All right, now I have to ask you this question as being somebody. We're going to talk about birds real quick. Our Eagles, from somebody on the outside looking in at the Eagles right now. There's a little bit of a rumor going around, which really kind of started, I believe, from a Pittsburgh radio. He was on WIP. He was from out. I believe it was I can't recall the call letters. Out your neck of the woods, but he was representing them, and I heard the clip on WIP, and this whole strange, really, was going on about the Eagles trading Nolan Smith for TJ Watt. Now, did that get any traction out that way?
No, I haven't heard that. I mean, no, I haven't heard that.
Yeah, it was supposed to be Nolan Smith being traded to Pittsburgh. But it was one of the, he follows the Steelers. He was a beat reporter, but he was just more or less kind of throwing it out there of what they thought it would take to get him here. What is your view on the Eagles looking from afar? What's your outlook on them?
Oh, I mean, they're a great team. I think they, they're a stacked team. I think. They've got pretty much all facets of their game. They're good, and they've got talent. I mean, I've kind of admired what they've done the last few years. I think that they've really, they've got it together. I mean, I'm impressed by what they've done.
Okay. We got a comment here. Big Al says we will trade Jahan Dotson. No, we won't. Go ahead, Pat.
So I got a question, Bill. I not to shift gears, but have you heard any rumors about trading Sidney Crosby?
You know what? I've heard some rumors on that. You hear that? You've heard that the last few years in the offseason. It's just, I know George LaRock made a comment about, he could be gone here before the season starts. I don't put anything into that. Crosby said time and time again, he is not leaving. His contract, he has a no movement clause. He's not going anywhere. I think that's just people just trying to drum up. Maybe it's slow on like George LaRock. I know sometimes it gets slow on his Twitter feed, and he'll throw out these outlandish things and rumors and things like that, and it just none of it ever comes to fruition. But yeah, around here, if you talk to or if you listen to any of the prognosticators and the experts, they're all saying it's just a bunch of fluff. So
what about George?
Yeah, I mean, because
what about Letang? Because I would love to take Letang off your hands. I've been wanting him in a Flyers uniform for about a decade.
Yeah, now that's a different story. I mean, he could very well get traded. I think even Malkin could get traded, but no, I don't think Sid Crosby's going anywhere. Yeah, I mean, Letang is there's no medium with him. He's either really good or he's really bad. I've seen him turn the puck over in some bad situations. He does that fairly often, but then you see him make a tremendous play. So, like I said, there's no really in between with him. He's really in the last few years, and I think there's reasons because of that. He's older, and the guy's had 2 strokes too. By the way, a lot of people don't realize that he had that hole in his heart. I guess he was born with, and the guy's had 2 strokes. Now they just in the off season, or I'm sorry, last year he was they repaired that, so hopefully he won't have any strokes anymore. But the guy's been through a lot. But yeah, I mean, he's like I said, he's either really great or he's really bad.
I got another question for you right here. Our buddy Noom says, "Have the Rooneys just started to lose their minds?"
You know what? I said this before. When Dan Rooney died, I think part of the franchise died with him. I said that before, and a lot of people are like, "What do you mean by that?" I'm like, when you look at some of the moves that they've made with Art at the helm, I don't know. It just seems to me like there's just a lot of I don't know. They almost kind of remind me sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes with some of these deals and their lack of trying to sign guys, and they kind of remind me sometimes of the Pirates. Like they do the cheapest route, and I don't know. Art's not a football guy. He's an attorney. Dan was a football guy. When you look at it, like in the 70s, Art Senior, he didn't know anything about football. I mean, he was a gambling guy. He knew baseball. He knew boxing. But Dan, they say, the young Dan Rooney back in those days was the guy behind the scenes putting all the deals together and putting the team together. And I said that. I said when he died, part of the franchise died with him, because I don't know, some of these things that Art does really kind of I scratch my head as to why he's doing it. So
yeah, Big Al checking in saying, so they have clickbait in Pittsburgh as well.
Yes.
Noob
a lot of clickbait.
He said at some point you would think the Pens would need to do some rebuilding value for Crosby and Malkin. I believe that too. I don't think Crosby will ever go anywhere. I think he's a Pittsburgh lifer, but I do agree with you. I can see Malkin and Letang being moved. Noob saying just like the Giants with Maradine, and it says we know a story of a gambling guys in football.
Well,
yeah, you do.
Well,
you sure do.
Listen, look, this is where me and Mike, we often battle with our Harry Bananas, because I wanted Mike. Obviously, you guys let go of Mike Sullivan. You know, Mike. You guys, the Pittsburgh Penguins moved on from Mike Sullivan. I've been wanting him here since the day he became a head coach over there. Again, winning multiple Stanley Cups back to back. A purified winner. What's your thoughts when the Pittsburgh Penguins moved on from Mike Sullivan?
Well, the NHL was one of those one of those sports where there's always an expiration date on coaches, and sometimes it's a lot sooner than other leagues. The NFL, the NBA, and the NBA's kind of follows suit with that too. But it always seems like the coaches don't stay very long on NHL teams. I think it was his time to go. I think his philosophy kind of fell on deaf ears, to be honest with you, in the last few years. I think he was really good, when they made those cup runs. I thought, but I just think that the change of scenery and things like that, it was time for him to go. I think he realized that as well. I did not like the hire of Dan Muse. You got a guy who has no experience, very little experience in the minor, coached in low minors. I mean, we're talking like damn near beer league minors. Was a college coach for a while, did some work with USA Hockey. So I think that was kind of the thing that really that they really kind of liked. But there's talking about, well, he's good with the youth. Well, he's coaching the oldest team in the league. So how's that going to work?
I got a question for you, Bill. How much did the fan base want the Penguins to hire Tocchet? Because I heard there was a lot of interest out of Pittsburgh for Rick Tocchet.
Yeah, his name was out there. His name's been out there for a while. Yeah, I mean, I would have loved to see Rick Tocchet get hired. I think he's a tremendous coach.
Thank you so much, man. Because I got to tell this numbskull next to me, because just because he wore a Flyers jersey once, he thinks it's the same old, same old. I told him Tocchet played for half the league.
Yeah, so, he played for a lot of teams. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, he's a great coach. He's a great motivator. He knows the game. He knows the game probably better than a lot of coaches. I mean, the guy's been, I mean, he's coached he's been a coach for a long time too. He's a no nonsense guy, but he does it with how do I say? He's not like a disciplinarian, but he's a no nonsense guy. If you can, like he has his ways of getting through to his players that because this day and age, we know you have to handle. A lot of players don't respond to the disciplinarian type.
Oh, we know firsthand. Yeah. We had Tortorella here, and
right.
That's the one thing that me and Pat agreed on. Like, neither one of us wanted Tortorella, but I will give Tortorella credit for the beginning part of his coaching here. It did look like he kind of scaled back a little bit. It's only been like the last year or so where he's kind of reverted back to the old Tortorella that me and him didn't like. And I was like, man, I knew that the Flyers lost. I knew they were tuning him out. And the bad thing about it was, on our side, we got to see that that really nobody wanted to come here and play for this dude. You know what I mean? And that's weird.
Yeah, I like Tortorella. I've always liked him. One thing that I can say about him, he is a little over the top sometimes. I think he takes it a little bit too far. But I'll tell you something right now, and you talk to anybody that's ever played for him, he has his players' backs. I mean, anybody, if there's unfair criticism towards his players, you can best believe he's gonna step in and go to bat for his players. And that's one thing that I've heard numerous players that have played for him say that yes, he's no nonsense. Yes, he's gruff. Yes, he can be aggressive. But the guy, if you play hard for him, he will have your back 100% of the time. So,
well, listen, Bill. Look, it's Sunday. I know it's your birthday. We want you to go celebrate it, and especially not hang with us two losers. But listen, again, guys, please give my man Bill here a follow. You catch him on Facebook doing all this magical work with the Pittsburgh Sports Desk. Again, he covers the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Guys, give him a hit up. Give the Pittsburgh Sports Desk a follow because, man, Wednesday, 7 o'clock, Wednesday, sometimes at 8, I believe you guys can catch him, Ed. I think you and Ed and Tracy fight maybe as much as me and Mike. Well, the three use it.
Yeah, it's funny because Tracy and I are homers. We're the Yinzers.
Yeah, well, that's what Mike is.
Yeah, Ed is not. Ed is from DC. He's a Washington fan through and throughout. He does not, he doesn't, he's not a Steeler apologist. That's definite. So we like having him on there because it just, we fight and it's good. It makes good viewership. People like that. People like to see.
Listen,
we know.
I know Ed. He did.
I got to deal with
this. I know Ed. He doesn't. Exactly, and I know Ed. He doesn't hold back. He'll just whip it out on you. So,
dude.
But
anyway, rule, man.
In more ways than one.
Oh, good Lord.
But no, all kidding aside.
I gotta apologize for my partner.
All kidding aside. All kidding aside, though, great guys. And guys, I want you to stay tuned because it's looking like in the pipeline that the Pittsburgh Sports Desk might be doing some near future work with It's Around Sports. So we're keeping a close eye on that.
Yeah, we are.
But we definitely want to, everyone to stay tuned. Looks like the Pittsburgh Sports Desk is coming over here. Again, if you want to, though, like I said, they do a great job. Give their show a follow, man. Highly entertaining. Like I said, very good stuff. No days off as far as the back and forth. I mean, there's always back and forth fighting, and I definitely enjoy it. It's good stuff, good radio. Guys, Will, where can the people find your show at, though, as far as follows? Are you guys on Twitter, Facebook, and all that stuff?
Yeah,
where can the
people find We're on the X. We're on, obviously Facebook, YouTube, Spotify. Lots. Tenovo, I think we're on everywhere. We're everywhere. You can find us.
Browsers. You can.
Yeah, you Google us and you'll be able to find us pretty easy. So.
All right, listen, Bill. Look,
we want to thank you for coming on with us, man. I want to thank you for coming on with us, man. And you're welcome anytime on here. And welcome to the network. I know you guys will be over here shortly. So make sure you guys check these guys out, the Pittsburgh Sports Desk, and give these guys a follow, man. Give them a follow.
Thanks, guys. Hey,
enjoy your birthday.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It was. Thank you for having me on. It was. I had a lot of fun. Thanks a lot, guys.
All right, Bill. Well, you have a good one, man.
All right, Bill. Enjoy your birthday.
All right. Thanks, guys.
See you, buddy. Well, that was fun. Listen, that was great. That was a lot of fun. That was great radio. But let's talk, Mike. We got all the things to discuss here with the Phillies team. I'm glad that Bill fills us in what's going on over there across the state. That's why I had him on. Great guy. And like I said, guys, Pittsburgh Sports.
Thank you. You just made our producer quit.
Well, that was my goal. But no. Listen, Mike, Jose Luzardo, we're closing in at the halfway mark. Do you think now with Jose Luzardo being up and down, more so now down towards this end of the first half, do you think this was a bad signing now when you come to think of it in hindsight?
No. He's a good pitcher. I just feel like he's been a little too up and down for my liking. But he can straighten out. I think he can. I think this I think this team, I love the fact that there's really that nobody's going to be a starter. You know what I mean? I think Schwarber may go with Wheeler. It's looking like them two are probably going to be the Phillies' only representation. I love it. Let these guys sit at home, relax. You got the Mets sending a ton of people. You got the Dodgers sending a ton of people. Let them all go play this meaningless baseball game. Let our guys go home, sit, relax, and do what they want to do over this All-Star break. Come back rejuvenated. Because, Pat, the last 2 years coming back from the All-Star break, this Phillies team has been flat because they've sent a lot of key players out there to go play. I love the fact that if it's only them two, let them two go. You know what I mean? Let everybody sit down, relax, get their thoughts back together, get away from baseball for a couple days, let them go do what they got to do, and then reconvene for the second half of the season.
So, yeah, I'm with you. And listen, we're going to need everybody on deck because, like Mike Papernick, who chimes in his show, Steve goes, Bill's awesome. Can't wait for those guys, but screw Pittsburgh sports. Yeah.
Oh, you're rough, Steve.
No, but listen, again, as I look at this team, as I look at Jesus Luzardo closing his first half, I'm starting to believe this was a bad sign only because, again, like you say, he's not a bad pitcher. He's 7-5. He has 115 strikeouts. He's allowed 52 runs. It's a little bit of an alarming record right there, but he can have a great inning, but then he has that really bad snowball effect, like he did in his last appearance. He gave up 6 runs, and it's it's scary at times when he's on the hill. It's kind of make me beg for Nola to get back here. Is that wrong to say?
Nah, you listen. I would rather them. I got to disagree with you a little bit, Pat. I mean, yeah, I know his starts have been kind of fluctuated. But you also got to remember, too, he was the only pitcher on this staff that was really kind of eating innings early on. Okay? Not even Wheeler was eating innings like this guy was. So maybe it's starting to kind of even out a little bit. And, I think, honestly, listen, he's a good pitcher. The Phillies took a chance on him. He was coming back from an injury. So it's, low risk, high reward type of thing. And listen, he started out 5-0. So I mean, yeah, he's been 2-5 his last 7 starts, but I mean the 2 wins were kind of dominant. The 5 losses is where he's been everywhere. Like again, I think it's just time for him to, along with the rest of this team, is to just sit and relax, get ready for this All-Star break, let them relax, and then go about their business. They're right there in the hunt for the division. The Mets are not going to run away with the division, neither are the Phillies. It's going to be a battle all the way down to the end. It's going to be who can stay healthier. Right now, this Phillies team is generally kind of healthy, with the exception of Harper playing what a bad wrist, and you got Aaron Nola out. Everybody else is banged up. I mean, the Braves are banged up left and right. The Mets pitching staff is banged up left and right. I don't think those teams are going to be able to sustain what they're doing. I think the Phillies are going to end up pulling away.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. Look, it's about who's healthy at the end. But like you just mentioned, though, so again, you said about Jose Luzardo eating innings early, and I heard Matty B saying, "Let these guys pitch." And so, should Rob Thompson be a little precautious with these guys going deep in innings, like the Ranger Suarez's, the Wheelers going 7 to 8 innings? Should he be a little cut back with that? And because I feel like this team is going to be out of gas with their arms come to postseason time, which is going to lead you to rely on this bullpen, which led you to be in some hairy situations.
Well, here's the thing. I think going forward, I really do. I don't think Joe Ross is going to be on this team. I would be surprised if he's on this team after the trade deadline. I really do. Not to say that they're going to trade him, but I think they're going to DFA him. I think they're going to go out and get what they need to get. They need a couple starting pitchers. I mean, they need a couple arms for that bullpen. Yes, they do. Another thing is, too, don't be surprised if they take Ranger Suarez out of that starting position and move him to the bullpen. You got to figure Ranger's going to, he's a free agent at the end of the year. So they're going to use them how they see fit. I would like to see, I would like to see if they're going to move somebody to the bullpen to make room for Painter, because I think Painter's coming. I think he's going to come up. And either that or when Nola comes back. Right now, you're rolling with 5 deep. Somebody's going to have to move to the pen when Nola comes back. Why not Ranger? Ranger could be your long guy that can go out there. You can use him in a closing situation if you have to. He's cool, calm, collected. Why not? I mean, we saw him close out in 2022. He closed out the championship series. He came in out of the bullpen. If you need him to start, he can stretch himself out to start. I think the Phillies have one piece already in their line, already in their rotation. I can see them going out. They need to get some arms. And I think they need to get another right-handed bat, too. I think they need to get another right-handed bat.
Well, kind of leads me into my other question, though. So, and that's what I'm thinking. At some point, they're going to have to make a splash for a bullpen arm at some point. If they want to have any dreams of making this a deep run, because I guarantee this team wasn't expecting the Jose Alvarado train to fall off the track. And now you're going to have to make up for that lost time. And we all know, listen, they got by yesterday with Romano, Strom, Banks, and Kinkering, but you're going to need a consistent arm that can kind of carry you through, and we don't have that. But like you said, we'll see what this team's capable of. Mike, I got to ask you too. What's your thoughts though about Mick Abel going back down to Piggy Land?
I think he went back down because he still has options. A lot of people don't realize that. Like he still has options. Like a lot of people were up in arms with that. And, if a guy still has options, that's why you send him back down and bring the guy up like Seth Robertson, because he has the options to go down there. Unlike the fellow sent Buddy Kennedy down and he declined it, went through waivers, and now he's a free agent and he's not even with the Phillies organization anymore.
Yeah, I don't think YMCA, free gyms were looking at him, so he kind of duped himself.
I don't know about that. I think Buddy Kennedy's a good player. I think he'll latch on somewhere and get picked up. But you could have used Buddy Kennedy in a trade, like as a player to be named or whatever. Again, I feel like this is part of the process with the Phillies. I feel like they don't get sometimes. And, look, going forward here, like I fully expect Crawford to get called up around, I would say probably beginning of August. I think that kid's going to get his call up. And I think once he gets called up, I don't think he's going back down. But he,
we're
getting. Go ahead.
No. I was going to say, we're getting loaded with comments here. Steve goes, Painter's command has been a little suspect lately. Starring at this level may not be the best idea for Painter. Let him pitch in the pen. All right, so that's Steve's opinion. Let him come out of the pen, and listen, that might help the pen out.
This right here, I kind of agree.
Not ready. He's where he belongs right now.
Yeah, and that could be another thing too, Pat. They might have sent him back down and said, hey, look, you need to go down and work on this. All right, we're going to send you back down. It's not, go down, work on it for a little bit. We can always bring you back up. So that's what that's there for those young guys to go down and finish. Sometimes it happens like that. As far as Painter goes, I don't know about that, about just putting him in the bullpen, because to me, like, he's a number one draft pick. Like, I'm sorry, buddy, you're a starting pitcher. You're going to start for me. Like, so I think before they make that decision, they got to give the kid a couple starts at the major league level before they can just go and, do that. So they got to give him a couple starts. I mean, they gave Abel some starts this year. The kid's ready. You know what I mean? So Steve was just checking in with this one. He says next year when he's in year 2 off, JT, let Painter start out of camp. I mean, yeah, you could, but I mean, why? If you feel like this is what the plan was for you, unless he's physically injured and still rehabbing, you bring him up. You bring them up. Like, I don't understand this is the Phillies' problem. Like, they let these young talented guys sit down the minor leagues. Abel's been down there for 6 years. He should have came up at least a year ago just to see what he has.
You have to get these guys' feet wet at some point or another. You have to, like you just said, Mike, it's a sink or swim business. All right. Obviously, he came up a little before time. But look, I mean, I get it. again, going kind of back to Steve's comment saying, listen, he's not ready. He's clearly not ready. But look at the point, though. I mean, we were struggling with our arms. We are struggling. Again, maybe this is the kind of see whether Mick Gable should come out of the bullpen. I would at least put him there to kind of get his head cleared. Again, Taijuan Walker is going to take his place. I'm not a fan of that move, but hey, listen, give it a whirl. And again, today we have Zach Wheeler on the hill, and going against this Reds team. Mike, do you think you think Zach Wheeler could get this team through and get them the dub before heading on this road trip?
Yeah. I like it. I like it a lot. And if you really look at it, really kind of going forward, you take a look. I mean, that Giants series matches up pretty well for the Phillies. You have, I believe, Taijuan's probably going Tuesday. I think I heard he's going to go Tuesday. Yeah. So you figure when they get out there tomorrow, I believe it's
Sanchez.
They got Sanchez, then Taijuan, and then Ranger. So they're getting the Phillies best. And like I said, they could probably even skip Taijuan on Tuesday and just go Sanchez, Ranger, Zach if they wanted to. Now I got to see how they do that, because I do believe I'm not sure, but I think it's it's Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, right?
And Monday, Tuesday,
you're right. So yeah.
Wheels on the hill today.
Yeah, so if Wheels is on the hill today, then he'll be available. His next start would be Friday. So you figure Ranger was yesterday. His availability should be Wednesday, around Wednesday-ish. So yeah, I think it should look good. I did see this right here. He says, I love to see Palmer go to the BP. Let Ranger continue his hot streak on his starting pitchers. Let Nola start once he gets back and let Painter earn his stripes. You could. I mean, Steve, they could do that. You know what I mean? I mean, listen, we're talking about the Phillies might need arms. Who's not to say they don't put Painter and Abel in the bullpen and say, look, guys, this is where we need you guys right now. That could very well happen. They could stick Painter and Abel in the bullpen. And I don't agree with this. It says the Phillies are veteran enriched. No, they're not. They do have some veterans on their team, but they're not enriched with veterans. They're really not. I mean, most of their teams got under 6 years of MLB service time. I mean, Schwarber doesn't, Harper doesn't, Turner doesn't, and Castellanos. There's the four in your starting lineup, but everybody else has been,
it's still a pop. Well,
yeah.
I mean, still fairly young, but again, Mike, now that we're here, we're, like I said, closing in on the first half of baseball. How do you feel about this team? Because, like I said, every time this team gets an L under their belt, I feel like the world's on fire. They're not. It makes you feel like they're not even a competitive baseball team. In hindsight, like you said, we are neck and neck for the NL East. We're one of the best teams in baseball. We have one of the best starting baseball rotations. I don't understand what's the panic button being pushed for from everybody when the team, again, and if they win today, another win under their belt. So I need people just to relax with this baseball team.
Well, here's the thing. We're Philadelphia fans, and we treat every Phillies game like an Eagles game, where the Eagles are once a week. Well, they do this with 162
live and die by the baseball.
Right. And, and I know Matty B doesn't want to hear that it's ebb and flows, but it is. Like, I don't want to hear it. Like, I know this team's got some holes. They have some deficiencies. We can all see this, okay? But let's be clear. They're literally 4 games behind the Dodgers for the best record in the National League. They're only 1 game behind the Dodgers or 1 game behind the Cubbies for the second. For the number 2. Like what more do you guys want? And if you look at it, dude, they're on pace right now. They're on pace right now to go and do the same as they did in 08.
So, and again, when I look at this team, and again, do the Dodgers scare me? No. Do the Cubbies scare me? No. Even the Mets. Do the Mets scare me? No. The only team that scares me, and they might not make the postseason, is the Brewers. The Brewers just thumped this Phillies team. But I mean, other than that, who can really put this team away in a series? The only team that could put away the Phillies in the series are the Phillies. That's it.
Mhm.
And if they're going to swing at bad pitches, if they're going to swing at things low on the ground, they get way over aggressive. That's all on the Phillies. It's the Phillies' job to play smart baseball, take their pitches, and do what they've been doing. Yes, have the power bats hasn't been as great as they've been in the 2-3 years past. I totally agree. But the
But
small ball, driving in runs are a lot better.
I was just about to say that the Phillies are playing a little bit better small ball. Now, granted, their lack of hitting with runners in scoring position, that's been kind of fluctuating up and down. It's not been as good. It's not as good, but the way I would look at it, you know, and that's to me, I don't think that they I don't think that they have to they can play small ball when they want to. You know what I
I
mean?
think
And I'm not trying to be a homer here, but Steve's saying the Dodgers could clean our clock. They won one hand tied behind their back. Steve, no, they didn't. They didn't have a winning record against the Phillies last year. So how can you say that when the Phillies beat them head?
Listen, hey Steve, I love you, buddy, but I know Mayfair pretty well, and there is a street called Elm Street somewhere around there. I think Matty B and you may have lived on that block at some point in your lifetimes. I mean, you guys can't be always. And listen, I'm a guy who complains about this baseball team, but listen, when it's time to give this team rose petals, you got to give them rose petals. When it's time to give them the thorn bushes, but for you to come out here and say the Dodgers can clean our clocks. Come on. This team has put away the Dodgers. Yes, they didn't have their best batter in the lineup, but it's been for the past few years, the Phillies have took it to the Dodgers. Have they not? Like, who really scares you in the NL? And to me, it's the Brewers. Outside of the Brewers are the Pittsburgh Pirates, and Pittsburgh Pirates have no shot of making the postseason.
Hey, Pat, Pat, you want to laugh? The last 10 games, Phillies versus Dodgers. Yeah, the Phillies are 9-1. Oh, I'm sorry, 2 they are. I'm looking at the Dodgers website. It says LA Dodgers versus Philadelphia Phillies, last 10 games. You ready? 6-11, 2023. Phillies won 7-3. 7-9, 2024. Phillies won 10-1. 7-10, 24. Phillies won 4-3. 7-11, they won 5-1. 8-5. Okay, in LA, Dodgers won 5-3. 8-6 of 2024, 6-2 Phillies. 8-7, 9-4 Phillies. 4-4, 25. It was the Phillies 3-2. Dodgers won 4-5, 3-1, and then the Phillies won 8-7. So the Phillies are 8-2 against the Dodgers in their last 10 games. Like, give me a break about this Dodgers stuff. Like, give me a break. Oh, I know he's awakened.
Mike, ready? Beetlejuice.
Okay. Oh, I thought whatchamacallit had less time too.
Well,
yeah, here we go. Homer Mythbuster alert. You hear the pooping our Cheerios too, Maddie?
Yeah.
Miserable.
Candyman. I'm gonna look in the mirror and say, Candyman.
Hey, Steve, I'm not trying to hear that they're missing people. Big deal. That's baseball, man. But to sit there and say they're going to clean their clocks when the Phillies are 8-2 in their last 10 against them, you can't sit there and say that. And
no,
again, that's all excuses. The Dodgers have one of the best farm systems in all baseball. They're like the Braves; they can plug and play. I'm not trying to hear that. I'm really not trying to hear that.
And World Series,
look at their payroll and the team that they put together. I'm not trying to hear that. They're 8-2 against the Dodgers in their last 10.
Well, Mike,
again, I'm not scared of the Dodgers. Pat, you know who I am scared of though? I'm gonna be honest with you because they always have our number. The Giants. The Giants, to me, they're a team that if you get them in the playoffs, and the only thing that's working out for us is it's an odd year. They don't win championships in odd years. They only win in even years. So, that kind of bodes well for us. But that team is scary, man. Scary.
And again, every time I think about this Giants and Phillies series, again, it takes me. I know it's pretty much a decade later, but I still think the Madison Bumgarners, uh, Buster Posies, all those guys, man, who gave this Phillies team
Cody Ross.
Cody Ross gave this team a nightmare. So, Bruce Bochy, right, ain't coaching the
Yeah.
Giants anymore.
Yeah, he's with Texas still. He's still with Texas, right?
Yeah.
Bochy, he's still with Texas.
Right.
Yeah.
But listen, that was a tough task to get over. Madison Baumgartner, those early Giants years, man, was something else. He was all dialed in. You want to talk about someone who was laser focused and wanting to complete the mission? That guy was. But Mike, listen,
hold on. Before we go, Pat, we gotta pay the bills, as the boss man says. So guys, make sure you check out Matty B today. That's right. Matty B is doing double duty today. He will have the Fightins final. And when he is done with the Fightins final, he will be live tonight. That's right. The final word. Every Sunday through Thursday at 10 p.m. So make sure you tune in. You get a double dose of Matty B. I'm pretty sure Barb would be happy with that. So there is your schedule for this Sunday. Again, Thursday, don't forget, it is my partner and Steve Fuentes for the Attacking Third. They will have you covered with all the MLS action along with the Philadelphia Union. And on Friday nights, that's right, it is the wraparound with my co-host, the hardest working guy over here at It's a Wrap Sports, besides Matty B. So make sure you tune in to Pat Bernard every Friday at 10:30. And, of course, every Sunday, as you've been with us this last hour or so, it is me and Pat along with Al. So make sure you tune in for P&M in the AM. And, guys, coming up, that's right, this week, Matty B has the game today, but the San Francisco Giants, this is your coverage for that series. Pat will have Monday. Steve will be on Tuesday, and I will be bringing up the rear on Wednesday. I kind of figured you would like that. So, Pat, what do we have today? What are we having today?
Yeah, let's go. Let's keep it simple. Let's keep it plain. I'm not going to go crazy. It's the holiday weekend. I'm going to go pasta. But, Mike, before I go any further, because I'm going to find out what you're having today, I quickly news 76ers, Flyers making not too much of a splash. The Sixers kind of got Jabari Walker, Hunter Sales, Trent Ford. Again, re-signing Eric Gordon. I have no idea where this 76ers team is going with. I don't know what they're doing. They got me lost. I don't know. I'm just lost on where they're going. But I do feel better after listening to the Danny Briere press conference this morning, catching back up on it, about the draft picks the free agent moves that he went over. And he made it clear this is not again, you and I working for the state, for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. This is a road that has potholes. They are quickly fixing them. It's not going to be overall paved overnight. This is going to be a quick fill the potholes and get this team what it needs. He admitted this team is paper thin at the center position. He's admitted this team needs defensemen, and he kind of addressed all those issues. He's brought in Dan Villard, if I'm saying that name right, to push Sam Arison to challenge him for that goaltender spot. And he's hoping to get what he got back a couple of years ago with the whole Carter Hart pushing for the 1-1A situation with Sam Arison. So he's looking towards that. Like I said, I like the moves that Danny Briere has addressed. He's picked up a center. He's picked up a couple defensemen. He's picked up a backup goalie. Mike, how do you feel about Danny Briere's so far moves in this offseason?
Yeah, I like some of the moves that they made. I love the Dvorak trade. He's much better than Paling. You actually kind of upgrade it there. I do want to touch on this right here. VJ Edgecombe versus Ace Bailey last night. Pretty good and was entertaining. Yes. I was actually out, and when that game had started, had a chance to watch a little bit of it. And I'll tell you what, this kid VJ Edgecombe, man, very, very athletic. He did.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know if you saw it, Pat, but he was down, blocked the shot, and then was back down the other end of the floor and actually ended up getting the bucket. So the Sixers, I think they'll be okay. You already know where I stand with the Sixers.
No, because Mike, I think at first people thought you were nuts about this 76ers team. I'm going to say you were once on a canoe. Now you are leading the ship of get rid of Joel Embiid because, again, you are looking for this team at best, hypothetically, for this team to be healthy. The key word healthy. The whole city of Philadelphia knows Joel Embiid is not going to be healthy. He's not going to give you 45 games. At best, he'll give you 15 games. And I don't see this team making a run when your best big man on the floor is not going to be around. Again, I like to pick up VJ Edgecombe now. I do because he's a very explosive person inside the paint. I like, we got Tyrese Maxey. I like the fact that we got Jared McConnell who can shoot from the outside. But the problem is you need a dominant big man. It's always going to be a big man's game to me. And we don't have nothing and no wing defenders to me. It's going to help this team. But like you just mentioned with the Flyers, I like it. After listening to Danny Barrere kind of telling what he's, admitting that, this is a short-term moves, we're paper thin at center. We're going to address some issues, and for him to address it, it's kind of got my eye.
Yeah, and listen, I like what Danny's done. Again, like Matty B was kind of on this where he said, "Guys, don't be expecting nothing for 5 years." Well, hey, listen, they kind of pretty much came out and said, "Look, we're going to be bad." Just kind of stay with us, Flyers fans, because we have to rebuild. But I mean, look, if you're looking at the guys that he signed, the Flyers signed Christian Dvorak, right, which is a fourth line center, but he's got some offensive ability, and I think he's an upgrade from Poehling. I really do, and I liked Ryan Poehling. I thought he was really good for the Flyers. Okay, I'm not sold on this Dan Villar. The goalie from Calgary, I'm not sold on him. I feel like that's just somebody, he's kind of like the new Cal Peterson, I would imagine. Defenseman Noah Juleson and Dennis Gilbert. I guess we'll have to wait and see about them, especially Gilbert coming over from the Oilers. And then they added a center, Lane Peterson. Don't know much about Lane, to be honest with you. But, I'm reading what Bill Bill Meltzer wrote, about these guys. And, he's basically going to be competing against Sam Erickson. Incumbent is still in the mix as well. And closed off with 1 year remaining on his NHL contract.
Yeah, and same. I'm with you. And again, he addressed the issues that were going on. Like you said, not much. Again, Lane Pearson, not much of a playmaker. He's been around the league. He's only had 4 goals, 7 assists. He's not a productive player as much. But again, going back to what you said, there are levels of competition to make spots. Like Danny admitted, guys are going to have to earn these spots. Even the guys we're bringing in, even the guys we're bringing up are going to have to battle for positions. They're going to have to make this team. Yes, is the Flyers a wide open opportunity where you probably couldn't make the Oilers or you couldn't make the Panthers? Yeah, you have every opportunity to make it here at the Flyers and bring out the best in yourselves. So we'll see where this team is going to do. And plus, you may not get Tyson Foster right away because he apparently got an infection in his elbow. So where it got actually worse. So now you might not got him at the start of the season. So now you're going to.
I think he's just going to miss camp, man. Because I'm looking at it here. The one thing I like about this Gilbert signing. The guy is 6'2", 215 pounds. Yeah. He's a very physical blue liner. He brings a physical game and blue line depth with a left-handed shot. So he's a lefty, but he split time last year between Buffalo and Ottawa. Again, Peterson, he's basically going to be a two-way player. Right. You know what I mean? He does have 71 career NHL games with 4 teams. But I like the Gilbert signing after reading this. The Juleson one, they said he's probably a 6th or 7th defenseman on that team. So, I kind of like the moves that they're doing. Like you said, they're kind of filling the potholes in a little bit because this year, Pat, was not a great year for free agents in the NHL. It was kind of a down free agent year where next year is going to be a lot better. And again, I think the Flyers will have more money again coming next year to pay different people.
Mike, you're absolutely right. Even Danny said it. Listen, the market was too high. What they again to address a high tender goalie, high end goalie, the market was too high. And yes, Danny was shopping around, but they are not willing to give up. From apparently what he said, I'm not going to give up pretty much X, Y, and Z. I'm not going to give up Boardwalk for what the market is or what they're looking for. So I can only imagine what those conversations were like. But you're absolutely right. The market, the free agent market, was a little too high, or the training market was a little too high. Again, he's not breaking the bank at free agency. He's not going to kill himself with the cap space. Again, he's just making
Pat,
low risk, high rewards.
Everything you had to know, like the highest guy that was coming out this year in free agency was Mitch Marner from Toronto, and Toronto literally had to do a sign and trade with Vegas for him to go where he wanted to go. Like it was a very, I've never seen a free agent have to go back to his old team to do a sign and trade for him to go where he wanted to go. Like, to me, it was a very weird offseason in the NHL. And again, you take a look, the Flyers were paying Cal Peterson a boatload of money to be in the AHL, and then he signs for like less than $1 million to go play for me. Now he's going to be, I think he went to Minnesota. So, again, Steve, to answer your question, I don't know what's going on with all we know is that his infection got a little bad, so I don't know if he damaged any bone or tissue in it. Just the infection got a little worse than what they initially thought. I haven't heard anything. But, Pat, I don't know. I think I might follow my inner Pat Bernard today and throw down some hot sausages down my throat. So I'm looking to do that today. But that's going to be my meal of the day. So, wait a minute. We got a cameo by Carly?
No, this is my cameo by Dominic.
Dominic? Hey, Dom. What's up, buddy?
Hi, wave. Hi, yeah, just like his dad. Yeah, all shy. Yeah, so, but yeah, that's my main man. But look, again, throw down the sausages. Again, everyone, enjoy the rest of your holiday. Stay tuned. Like I said, we got the Phillies post-game show here. Matty B coming in late tonight. Again, for all you night owls, he kind of sets the pace for the show, for the week. Sports for the week.
Yes, he does. He's our tone setter for the week.
He's our shaft, and we are.
Oh my God.
He's the head of the shaft, and we are. Never mind. But
for Pat Bernard, I'm Mike Lawyer. You guys have a great week. We are out.